preseason. That time of the year when the meta is changing every minute and nobody knows what the hell is going on at Riot HQ. Some will say it's a tank meta. Some will swear by another bruiser meta, but regardless of the outcome, Assassins are somehow still winning, despite feeling like they should draw the short end of the stick ever since 12.10. But what about our favorite pigeon, LeBurb, with his extravagant 46% win rate? Well, believe it or not, I think he'll still remain at a decent spot. Okay, now before you call copium, hear me out. Let's say Riot's planned buffs to tanks do create the dreaded tank meta that everyone seems to be talking about. The items that are most concerning are the new Heartsteel and Jack Show. Now think with me. Heartsteel is an HP stacking item with no resistances, but lots of damage. So if Azir just builds Liandry's, it's not really a concern. Jack Show, on the other hand, is just one big pile of resistances. If Azir builds Void Staff, that's already a huge cut on them, and if the tanks go for full magic resist, sure, you won't be able to deal damage to them, but most tanks get their damage from either HP or armor scaling, meaning that building tons of magic resist will leave them as big, unkillable mountains with no damage to speak of. Unless it's Zac with Spirit Visage and Demonic Embrace, then you can say goodbye to your loved ones. But keep in mind, your team should have at least one ADC to prevent a tank from going for that much magic resist. Either your bot laner who went 0-7, or your Vayne top who got one solo kill against Mordekaiser and considering changing her nickname to Hide on Bush. What's the takeaway from all that? Liandry's will be the best mythic for Azir in the upcoming season, I have no doubt about it. Even if the prophetized tank meta doesn't come true, bruisers are still incredibly strong, and if they build any amount of bonus health, which they will, Liandry's will have better damage than Luden's or any of the more defensive mythics. As for Azir's spot as an overall mid laner, I don't think it should change too much. Tanks are more popular, even if they are statistically weaker. Assassins are still strong as ever, somehow, even when lethality is worthless, but most of the matchups that are difficult for Azir to deal with in mid lane are other mages. And Echo. Fuck Echo. Most of these guys, excluding Cassiopeia, can't really build Rod of Ages, so it's not like there's much of a difference in the mid lane itself. So when it comes to deciding the games in the first 14 minutes of the match, I don't think Azir's place as one of the worst solo queue mid laners will really change. What will change though, and this is just my impression, is that tanks will be more popular in Season 13. Why do I say that? It's because the new tank items are fun. Extremely fun. And since their win rates aren't really good, it stands to reason that Riot will try buffing them for high elo use. This means that you'll see a lot more tanks in your games, and more tanks means more frontline for you on your team, and more frontline on the enemy team for you to melt with Liandry's. Sure, you're no Brand or Cassiopeia, but think of Azir as a DPS mage who can't just blow his combo and then explode like Brand, or do the Q-E-E-E-E-E-E-E-E-E combo until someone dies. He's got better mobility and self-peel than any other mage that can deal with tanks, and by far the strongest and safest laning phase out of them, even if he's not exactly a tank melter. The bottom line is, I don't think Azir's win rate will change that much. Whether we wanted it or not, he was a tad too strong and got over-nerfed for Worlds. It's unlikely that Riot will buff him again, considering that Azir was still a popular pro pick. However, the good news is that he'll probably feel better to play. If you're playing lower elo, you know how it feels to play a squishy, sustained damage carry with no frontline on your team. Well, guess what item is all the rage in lower elo? Heartsteel. Who builds Heartsteel? Either your tank, who will act as a big meat shield for you to DPS away, or the enemy tank, who will get melted by Liandry's and won't be able to build much magic resist without sacrificing either damage or survivability against your ADC. But if you really don't care about the meta and just want to have some wacky fun with a new and chaotic meta, check this video out. Just because Azir isn't meant to use the shiny new item, doesn't mean you shouldn't build it. Hope to see you there and thank you for watching. Cheers.